Hey all, back with another tutorial video. This is one that I was actually planning on doing, and then I was motivated to get it done sooner because somebody asked me on Reddit a question about how I build my lineups. As always, if you can, subscribe to the channel. Also, follow the link down in the description to the Patreon if you're able to support a few dollars a month for the old tutorial channel here. So, how do I construct my lineup? I lean more sabermetric lineup construction than old school lineup construction. And you can always Google it. There are a million articles around. I think Beyond the Box Score has a good article, which I'll try to find and put in the comments, about how to construct a lineup the sabermetric way versus the old school way. The old school way basically said put your fastest runner first in your lineup, put your guy who can bunt the best second, your best power hitter fourth, was kind of the gist of it. And really, that's just not the best way to go about the lineup. Your fastest guy might be your worst hitter, so you don't want him batting first. So how do you want to do it? So a few rules of thumb to follow that I'll go over, but also depending on how your team's constructed, you might not be able to follow this perfectly. But the first most important thing is, I would say, identify who your top three best hitters are. They are going to fall into your first, second, and fourth spots in your lineup. And you're going to do it in this order. First, out of those three guys, put the guy who is your best on base guy first in your lineup. All right. Now, you can see here on my team, my best on base guy is also my best power hitter. And I should have him hitting fourth in my lineup. He was my second best power hitter before this season. He should probably be hitting fourth. But if you run into something where your best on base guy is also your best slugging guy, I would recommend having that guy fourth rather than first. I think reasonable minds can disagree on that. But I actually, just figure out who the guy with the best on base is, and if it's some sort of tie or it's the same guy as your slugging guy, I would say then move on to power and say, okay, I'm going to decide who my fourth hitter is first, and my best power hitter is going to be fourth. So Armendariz should be my four hitter here. It's going to sort by OPS plus, and he's going to go there, right? And then it's going to come down to Maldonado and Concepcion. These are my three best hitters by far. They're all star level or MVP level players. And so Maldonado is a better power hitter than Concepcion. They're a lot closer this year than I expected them to be, so I might need to reconsider my lineup construction soon. But Maldonado is a guy who I would want in my two hole because he basically is a better power hitter than Concepcion. He's slower than him, so I'll pay attention to the speed thing if it's like a tiebreaker between who my really good hitters are. So because Concepcion is the weakest power hitter of the three, and he's the fastest, but he's still an elite level hitter, I'm going to put him first for that reason. And then by default, Maldonado goes second. And again, I have my lineup a little differently here. These hitters have kind of evolved over the course of the season. Concepcion was a rookie. But ideally, Armendariz fourth because he's the best hitter and he's the best power hitter. Concepcion first because him and Maldonado are pretty similar. Maldonado is a little bit better with power and Concepcion is much faster. And then Maldonado second by default. So after that, there's some room for debate with where to go with the order. Research will show in a book called The Book. It's about playing percentages in baseball. I'll put a link to that in the description as well, if you want to take a look at it on Amazon or order it yourself from a local bookstore. Honestly, would be the better move, but not better. I shouldn't frame it that way. Would be what I would do. I would put, so after your three best hitters, put your fourth best hitter fifth in your order. Now, why fifth and not third? Well, the book, the research shows that basically your number five hitter comes up more often with men on base than your number three hitter. So you want a better hitter in your five spot than your three spot. So figure out who your fourth best hitter is. In this case, for me, it's Ben Ortega. So boom, 5-hole. And then third, you're going to want your next best hitter. So, and with the third and fifth, if they're close to, say, or let me rephrase that. If your fourth and fifth best hitters are kind of in a cluster with also your sixth and seventh best hitters, and you're like, I don't know what way to go here. One way to break the tie, I think, is through power. Just have better power bats at third and fifth rather than further down the lineup. Or you can also go by on base if you just want guys who are less likely to make outs. That's also a fine way to do it. So after you get through that top five, just go in the order that they are, how good they are of hitters. And I think the best way to rank that is just weighted runs created plus. And again, I don't always follow this exactly to a T. You'll see my lineup is a little out of order of what I'm telling you here, just because I do the lineup a few times throughout the season. I don't always pay as much attention to it as I should. So I'm talking about the ideal situation. But once you've done all that, once you make your lineup, I want you to pay attention to the handedness of the hitters. I would say do not pay attention to it for your first, second, and fourth hitters. Keep them where they are. And then around them, make sure that you don't have more than two hitters of the same handedness in a row. This just makes it harder for teams to bring in a lefty specialist to get three lefties in a row out, or a righty to get three righties in a row out. So you can see I go lefty, righty, righty, lefty, lefty, righty, lefty, righty, switch, lefty, because it does turn over. So you want to pay attention where 8-9-1 goes too, and 9-1-2. And so ideally, I would love to have it be every other hitter, right? Left, right, but I'm not gonna prioritize over that of where my top three hitters are in the first, second, and four hole in the lineup. All right. So again, just to recap this real quick, put your best power hitter fourth. Put your best of your top three hitters at on base first. Put the third best hitter second. And then from there, put your fourth best hitter fifth, put your third best hitter, put your fourth best hitter fifth, put your fifth best hitter third, and then from there, just go by weighted runs created plus or on base percentage or OPS, and just rank them 6 through 9 there, and then go back and tweak as you need to for handedness. You're going to want to also pay attention, and I've talked about this in a different video, is how guys do versus left and versus right. Look at these splits. You might have a guy who is one of the best hitters in the league against lefties, but is basically not even worth having in your lineup versus righties. So just play him versus lefties every day and have a guy who plays the same position as him on your bench play versus righties. That'll maximize your lineup as well. That's pretty much all the tips I have for building your lineup. That's how I do it. I do recommend reading that book called The Book. It's an older book, but man, it's still great. And guys like Tom Tango, who are pretty famous sabermetricians. Maybe I said that right. I don't think I did. He wrote it as well as some other guys. And so yeah, order that book, build your lineup like this, then prosper, man. That's how it goes. See you guys next time.